What up, Clarence? Twitch logs most of it too? Yeah, they're probably feeding it into AI, let's be honest. This is real poppy sounding stuff. This is it's not bad. As long as you guys can hear me over it. All right, let's get this to another window. And then we, after letting it simmer for just a second, auto find and activate, and bada bing. Now all the chats are together. I'm on Smoko. Okay, so, wait, let me look at this before I move on. TV Super? And is it only Twitch? It's not like YouTube? Yeah, there's everybody from today. Oh, and emotes and colors and everything too. Timestamps. Fire hose. Oh my God. It's all of Twitch. Everybody else's chats, the ones that I'm not even in. Oh my God, everybody has more viewers than me. Okay. Yeah, it's just Twitch utilities. Interesting. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I like the fire hose. It's just everything. Every single communication on Twitch. Close up some of these. Dude. Yeah, all these are gone. All right, we just have Node Red window. So the other thing that I added, well, actually, I think I just did those two, was raids and the new, what's it? Oh, and I need to actually, I want to do another one. So let's do set message payload punchbox, but I wanted to do, when Willow gets mentioned, I wanted Willow to pop up on the screen, the little 8-bit AI thing that I had made, well, that I made. What I need to really do is automate this, because what this flow is it's basically getting the numbered ID of a scene, because even though it says optional in the API, if I activate a scene, where would that be? Bits amount, let's see, which one? Channel, point redeem, sub or gift, raid. So if I activate a visual, I need to use scene item ID as 3. And if I put something into my scenes, it might get a new scene item ID. It might shuffle all the scene item IDs. I don't know how that works. So I really need a way to automate putting that scene item ID automatically in. So instead of me toggling my own request for what the scene item ID is so that I can see it in debug, I need to feed that into a flow that'll place it in this little payload message here in scene item ID. I don't know how to do that yet. I kind of have an idea of how to do that, but this sucks. New mix. This one sucks ass. What are you playing? Why are you playing this crap? Pause. Jeez. Chill volume 6. Fine. Go with that one. I'm fighting myself on this one. I'm not sure if I want to do this or not. A way to make little tunes for the stream and have music that can actually go to YouTube. I was considering getting a groove box, and I have experience a little tiny bit of experience with the MC505, which is not current or new or anything exciting. It's actually kind of relatively it does a lot of things pretty well. It punches above its weight limit, and it was $250 for a broken one. And I looked up a couple videos of people fixing them up, and it looks like the usual Alps potentiometers and all the troubles that they have mechanically, you know, people sitting on the groove box and dropping all their cocaine on it or whatever else happens at the club. And so like one video I saw was cracked circuit boards, but mostly it's just the stuff that I deal with anyway, with all of the musical equipment that I've been building on stream. And we've stopped doing that for a little bit to kind of keep things fresh, and I haven't been practicing with any of it. I don't know what any of it does. I don't know how to use any of it. I need to go over to Julian's house and have like a session with him, and we'll figure out what the hell I can do with my own synthesizer. But I'm thinking, like, if I want to have like a full music, I need like something that does full music. And I'm like, well, think back to when I tried to start a band as a teenager. We pooled our money and we bought all kinds of cool music equipment. A buddy of mine actually bought this stuff for himself. He had a 505. And so I'm like, I like that thing a lot. Like, there's a lot of really cool stuff that it does. It's very quirky, and I'd have to learn about it quite a bit. For $250, I could have one that's non-functioning as a parts unit, but has minor quirks wrong with it that I'd probably know how to fix. I mean, I'm me, right? I can fix this kind of stuff. I can get broken stuff and turn it into kind of working stuff pretty well. I don't know, the $250, I'd have to like figure out if I have the funds and move stuff around, figure what this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I'm talking myself into and out of it. Seems like a handy tool. Yeah, but until I'd have to actually use it. And I don't know if I'd actually use it. I have more fun fixing it than I would getting to learn all of the menus and stuff. Because it is very much a product of its time. It has a little character LCD, and you can replace it with a regular character LCD. You have to do a little bit of cross wiring in order to get that to work. So I could replace the LCD with one that works. And then I don't know about the memory card, if you can swap the memory card from being one of those really flat, wide ones to being an actual SD card. But I don't know if I'd need the memory card. And then there's certain things like if you do a wrong sequence of buttons, it can erase all of its memory on you. So there's some quirks. But I could use MIDI to get that talking to the modular synth. There we go. I could get that to work with the modular synth, and then it has, of course, it's got like 64 voices, so it would be able to do its own thing too. Lack of musical talent on my part might be the problem. But having, rando synth trills that I could put in different parts of the stream and have like a BRB that's just weird synthesizer noises, that might be pretty good. And this would help structure it a little bit more. I don't know, just a thought. We're doing physical labor today. I'm not going to do anything too cerebral. Yeah, contains. Add another one. And another, and another, and another. Contains. I could just do regex on this, but I don't know regex that well. And then we want this flow. We make a little room for it. Doot. Okay, and then I need to take that, and I need to go to, nobody knows regex. Yeah, I know, it's all the tools that help you with regex that everybody goes to. So I guess I could do the same. How is ChatGPT at regex? Can it give you a good regex from a verbal question? Probably can. Frameless overlay, and this one is called, that one's Willow Pix, is the pixelated Willow. It would be nice to have like a random picture of Willow come up every time her name's mentioned. I think about doing that one later. We go over here and we do frameless overlay, and the one is Willow Pix. With a capital? Yes. Done. Deploy. Toggle. What? Failed, failed, failed. Oh, turn the debug on. Turn the debug on, turn the debug on. 22. 22, okay, so now we take 22, turn that off. I have to go over here. Oh, that's the wrong one. And then we take frameless overlay. 22. Scene name, frameless overlay, scene item ID 22, source name is capital W, pics, scene item enabled true. Copy, done. And then something off, and then false. Done. Give it like 2 seconds. Done. Deploy. So now, if a intrepid Twitch chat member, let me get out of studio mode, simply says, Willow appears for just 2 seconds. Oh, why didn't it crash that one? Why is it? Oh, okay, it's kind of catching them. I didn't put any like cooldown time on it. Does it stack? It's per message. Like when your chat message rolls in, that comes in through the API and it gets filtered here for only chat messages and not other stuff. And then the chat message goes to the flows. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Is it the Mayo Day? Is everybody getting drunk? Is that what's going on? Bonk. How many willows can we get? There's no limit on that. I gotta get together a whole bunch of pictures and see if I can make it just do a random picture. Like if I show a slideshow every 2 seconds on activation with a random on it, I think I can put that into OBS. And so when the scene gets activated, it'll be a random picture of Willow. Maybe we could try that. So studio mode, and then I go to frameless overlays. I would need to scrape my phone for as many of the Willow pictures as I have, because I have a lot. I have a lot of them. So what can I put on here? I can do image slideshow. Just Willow. Always play even when not visible. Pause when not visible. So if I have it pause when not visible, automatic, just cut transition, 2 seconds, speed 0, playback mode, random. And then I'll have to change that one. And then I pointed at a bunch of image files. So I'm gonna have to make a whole bunch of image files for that. And then it'll activate it for 2 seconds and deactivate it. And so when it activates again, it'll have a new image, or it'll transition instantly to a new image. Well, that means I need to go through my phone and get a whole bunch of Willow pictures and kind of sanitize a lot of them. Sanitize them and cut them properly. No, you can't put a number in there because I didn't program it. You guys just saw me program it. You know exactly what the flow is. If a chat message contains any of these iterations of Willow's name, turn on the scene, delay for 2 seconds, because that sends instantly to this, so it sets the scene, delay 2 seconds, and then it turns it off, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Nice and simple. Now I could be a stickler and I could put a filter on this so that it doesn't send the same message twice. Although I don't think it will, because it's, what is it doing? It's setting the whole payload. So that's, yeah, I could put a filter on it so that it doesn't send display twice, and that would filter out for a more active chat, and it would leave Node-RED a little bit less burdened. I'm a little concerned. I need to do the CAN bus stuff with Node-RED. I need to install CAN bus onto the Raspberry Pi and start that process, because that's going to be a whole thing. That we may run into the speed limitations of Node-RED. That's pretty cool, though. See, the something on and off would be for the just Willow. That was a lowercase. The whole camel case, lowercase, uppercase thing. It's, oh boy, it drives me crazy. Deploy. I should probably make this have like a front panel so I don't have to deploy in order to test it. Bonk. 27. I'll just put that there for now. All right, just to save, I got to deploy. So I can come back to that when I've got a bunch of Willow pictures. Oh, the 9 was for a fart. Did that go through? Was there one and I just have tuned it out? Or was that even a redeem? That was a redeemed fart. Did you guys hear it? I didn't register it in my memory. I don't know. I've so many farts I've had to endure. I've learned to tune them out. Father's Journal, day 600. I cannot stress how many farts I've heard. They no longer sound like anything to me. I've been here so long. This might be a knockoff battery, and I'm not sure. My folks started using it, and it drained pretty quickly down, and yet it still says that it's full charge. These knockoff batteries are unable to provide as much oomph as the typical DeWalt 20V Max 5 amp hour. I don't know if I can bench test it at all, but there were some signs that these things are knockoffs, so this is way too close up. It's got the embossed stuff there. The recycle, I don't think there would be all these phone numbers on a genuine. Got some numbers. 2022. This has some depth to it, although it does just seem like it's lasered, but that might be okay. Five amp hours, really? That's it? Down here, there's no QR code though. As you age, will you know if it's the fart machine or yourself? Wait, is that Dave 5005? Oh my God! Hold on one sec. let me get one of the genuine batteries and let's cross compare. The Dave Seuss. How's it going, man? How you doing? This is my little show. I do shop stuff. We build stuff here. So I've got every possession in my every worldly possession that I have. And my claim to fame, the reason that I'm partnered at all, is this guy right here. That is a board that doesn't work right now. We've been updating it, but that thing is the board that burns the name of Twitch subscribers onto itself using a blue laser. That was sort of a thing that ended just before the pandemic. So we've been working on the new one for a little while. I've been like 3D modeling and printing all the parts for it and stuff. But when it comes back, it'll be, you know, back nice. The whole thing about this is that Twitch names, a little aside about Twitch names. It's like, I've got this setup. Oops, that's the wrong, don't look at this camera. Don't look at this camera. This is the old, that's the old burn the subs camera. We're looking at this one. Okay, the thing about this is that this is an automated laser etching table that works with the Twitch API. It burns the names of subscribers in a particular font and a particular size. And I'm gonna make that less variable for the next board so that we can fit plenty of names. The previous board had 6,000 Twitch names on it. That's 6,000 subscriptions to my channel. It's awesome, awesome. But anyway, so the laser is this highly engineered XY table on my wall, and it's burning to this lovely piece of wood that cost me way too much money, and it burns the name of Gargleballs 97 onto this nice pristine setup. That's the sort of the whole humor of the thing. There have been some genuinely awful Twitch names that have made it onto that made it onto that board. But yeah, that's sort of the setup here. So, you know, we do electronics. I got the microscopes, I got all the cameras, I've got all the automation that we're working on. And yeah, the recent one was if somebody says the name of my corgi on chat, boop, it pops up a little thing. That's just the kind of stuff we do. More recently, what I was going to be working on today, I kind of lost all my inspiration. We'll work on it soon, but one of these money guns, this is apparently only $7. I bought it for $7, and then apparently my mother has a bunch of $1 bills that she gave to me. It's not what it sounds like. It's not. I know carrying a bunch of $1 bills, like what? Who's doing that? No. It's from like ladies organizations, like a cash bar and stuff like that. So she ended up with a bunch of ones and was like, yeah, you can use these. It's like $30. It's less than $30, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna hook this up to the Twitch API. So if I get a donation, it'll just spit money at me, which we tested. We tested by me just holding it out, and it is hilarious. Dollar bills get everywhere because this is just literally just a motor that yeets out dollar bills. But yeah, we're gonna get that going eventually. I was gonna work on that today. I decided that I didn't want to deal with all the plastic everywhere. Ladies organization, like, you know, like a horse show or like, like beagling. It's hoity-toity stuff, all right? But it ends up, you know, you end up having like a bake sale and then you've got a bunch of wants. So that's where we're at. It's not what it sounds like. Anywho, yeah, that's my existence on Twitch. I've been doing this for a long time, way too long, but numbers have been kind of middling. So I need to bring back, I mean, the board is the big draw. Like, let's be honest, people are just here to watch a laser names up on a board. And I've been negligent. I've been working on this thing. We've been working on this thing a lot, which is my old force feedback steering wheel that there's like a 20-pound servo motor somewhere down here. I think it's behind the fan. Force feedback steering wheel, real car pedals, real Mercedes steering wheel, a lot of reverse engineering going into that. My brother bought a cheap BMW, which is the furthest thing from a cheap BMW that exists. And he said, I was going through the junkyard and I decided to upgrade to the luxury interior. And I'm like, wait, what do you have? Wait, what do you mean? You have a car seat? I would love that car seat for my simulator setup. So here it is. He brought it in here after it had been infiltrated by stink bugs. I found stink bug eggs inside of it. Evil. I have basically a 2014 BMW seat, a 2011 or so Mercedes steering wheel. I bought the steering column from a Mercedes that has the motors in it. The pedals don't adjust, but the seat and the wheel will be able to adjust. And then I've got all of my simulator crap sitting over here. Don't worry about the garbage. Don't worry about that. There's this shifter that we built and 3D printed. There's this parking brake. I'm not just fangirling for Dave. I'm just explaining what everything's doing. It's something to talk about. And my flight stuff and all that weird stuff. We also have reverse engineered actual car parts that I've been working on. I can't get the backlight to work for this. It's very annoying. And so I'm going to roll all that stuff into a big simulator setup, but then I'm going to give viewers control of this stuff. So they will be trying to fold me into a pretzel or just take the steering wheel away from me while I'm in some kind of a driving game, and I'll have to figure out what game that is. It's going to be a lot of My Winter Car, but there's also going to be some other games in there. Because I will be able to plug the Twitch API into the rest of this stuff. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while for me to put it all together because it's complicated and I've been getting really distracted, man. But yeah, that's the idea. And that's the type of stuff we do here. Welcome to O'Bother's shop. Hey, how you doing? American Truck Simulator. Yeah, the problem is I'm going to want to go places that I know. So I'm just going to be going around Philadelphia the whole time because I'm in Philly. That's where I am. Supposedly, this one is a knockoff that Mahalo sent in. Speaking of Mahalo, in my chat, Mahalo sent me 2 of these batteries that had a too good to be true price. And they're tool batteries, but they were knockoffs. And I'm not really sure. I'm not certain that... Oh, yeah. Okay, there's your sign. Genuine, not genuine. QR code, no QR code. But the text is like, it looks the same. It's that sort of like little laser sintered back and forth kind of thing going on. What a train wreck those batteries were. You start, I'm like, all right, I'm going to pressure wash the deck. Load up. Ka-chink. And I'm like, all right, let's go. What? Like, it's like, son of a bitch. But like, look, the text. Where's the text? Text looks the same. Amazon did refund them, so it's all entertainment. Yeah, the problem is they got into my general population of batteries, and now I've got to like weed them out again. I've got to find all the signs and like interrogate all of my batteries to see what's going on. We might take this apart if the keyboard stuff doesn't take too long. I'm putting magnets to the keyboard because it gets kind of distracting when you're typing something and the front bevel does this, and then you're like, oh, what am I doing? That's cool that they were refunded because, yeah, that price is too good to be true. But it still seems to be a battery. If I want to plug this into like a light, I'm pretty sure it would work pretty well. Your environment was polluted with them. They're forever in the water table. At least I know to look for the QR code. If it doesn't have the QR code, then it's not genuine. Of course, they say that, and then they'll probably just print the QR code on the future ones. It used to be the text on the back was a giveaway because there was like a texture to it. And then certain embossments weren't on the knockoff batteries, but since they're probably made with the same exact machine, they're probably sourcing the shell somewhere and then putting it all together with some knockoff batteries that isn't present. But the printed QR code is indeed missing. And it looks like just in general, the construction of the battery is a little tighter on this one. The text is a little bit more clear. That might just be because of dirt. This one's kind of dirty. This one made it under my car. But this one's like a lighter yellow. It's not quite as rich of a yellow. There's a little orange in this one. You guys can even see that on the cameras. Okay, what are we doing? I got to get to whatever we're doing for today. How does the age compare? 2022, 2019. So this one's at a later date, so they might have, their tooling might have worn, and maybe that's why the embossments don't look quite as well, quite as good. How do I grammar? How do I use English grammar? How do I do that? Date format's similar. Not as, there's a second number on the genuine one. Yeah, look at that. Look at the, wait. Oh, this is a cool song. I like this song. So you see how soft that is? It doesn't quite look as crisp. Well, there's dirt all over it. It doesn't help that it's disgusting. Disgusting. So yeah, the embossments, you see there's like a little bit of a, it's kind of like a soft edge, or at least that's what I'm perceiving. And then if you look at the genuine one, it's hard as hell. That's a hard edge. Look at that. It kind of jumps out way better. And this could be just 2 years of manufacturing wear on the mold. That might be what it is. Because, you know, you get the die and it's all sharp and stuff, and then this one's good enough to pass, and you don't stop manufacturing it, but it does look a little bit worn down. Maybe that's what that is, but maybe not. Maybe it is just that it's a knockoff battery. That's fascinating. So I was going to do a whole stream where we look at that and we kind of observe what's going on here. I've already made my title though. We got to work on the keyboard today. Twitch viewers can hear the music. YouTube cannot. YouTube is mostly there for archival purposes, but we had a happy Cinco de Mayo from Mahalo Tube. Oh, that's just Mahalo. Wait. You guys sneaking into the YouTube from Twitch. Is that allowed? YouTube would not have that. They would hate that. Even having both YouTubers and Twitch chatters, I use a program called Social Stream Ninja that does a pretty good job. You just have to make sure that you open it up, or else the YouTube chatters don't get to see their chats on screen. Matamu's here. All right, there we go. We've got some genuine YouTube viewers. The YouTube is mostly there just because it holds onto the archive longer, and I can be lazy about that. Jill Drew. Could be that they made a die based on an impression of the first one, and thus the second. Yeah, if they molded it, if they did molding techniques and they took this one and made a mold and then translated that into a metal die, it would be softer because the mold carrying, whatever the mold carrying, it's the moldy parts. The moldy crap didn't get into that completely. That could be. I'm not making any assumptions. I would assume though that where these things are manufactured, all they do is say, hey, can I get that die, or can I buy some of those plastic parts? And then they make their own knockoff battery. I don't know, man. They just put cheaper battery inside of it. They could even have a deal with DeWalt to make these. I don't know. But there's certain little tells on it. Anyway, Social Stream Ninja puts both YouTube and Twitch on chat. YouTube, your comments do not feed into any of my automation stuff, and I would like to fix that. I'm wondering if the service that this thing has, it has like a chat server kind of thing. Like, where is that? It's like, oh, I guess it was one of the settings at the beginning. It was basically to enable like a chat server so that on multiple machines, I could have both chats come in. And that's going to be really good for when I get Julian and Dave in here to play music, because then I can set them up over there and give them just a screen that'll have chats on it. So you guys won't get, I won't have to relay what you guys are saying to them. They can just fuck off and play music over there. I shouldn't curse because YouTube will get mad. Hard to know if there was a gray market overrun of batteries or cases, or if they're actual fakes. Yeah, and there's very few tells other than the complete lack of battery life. They just suck out loud when you put it into the tool. And anything but, like, you know, like a drill is fine, but like if you're leaf blowing or power washing, which all of the trees are letting all the little spinema things down. So my car, literally every gap in my ancient 2000 BMW is filled with these little whirligigs that come down from the trees here. We've got a lot of maple trees. Is it maple that does that? Which one does the whirligigs? I forget which one does the whirligigs. We should ask the internet this. Hold on, let's figure it out. What tree lets little whirligigs fall? What is AI going to say to my completely... Maple. Oh, I was right. It is a maple tree. This little closed off like neighborhood that I live with my parents at has a lot of maple trees, and they're terrible. Yeah, maple seeds. Okay, they're terrible. I hate them. I want to cut them all down. I want to deforest this whole area because those little whirligigs, it gives it like just enough side momentum to like wedge into stuff in volume. And what that does with my car is the Germans designing this BMW decided that all of that little interstitial wedge space in between all the panels would be used as ducting for water. And so the water gets caught in the maple seeds and it gets held up against the side. And in places that can lead to rust if there's any exposed metal at all, but it also keeps my car from draining. And my car's an outside car. It's so stressful to have an outside car. It's so stressful because the car, like literally you can sit there on a quiet day and you can hear the car returning to earth. It's just creaking and little bits of rust falling off of it. I'm full of anxiety about my car being outside all the time, but the little whirligigs make it worse. And then I clean off the whirligigs. I use the leaf blower, I use the pressure washer that I bought, and I wash it and I blow off all of that little whirligig crap, and the car's nice and clean. And so then the birds see a shiny car and they start attacking my mirrors and they attack the windows and then they poop all over my car while they're attacking it. This is the life that I live. And then I go to start the car and the battery's dead because I haven't driven in 2 weeks. Holding an old car is a journey. It's a journey, but it does mean that I can fix stuff pretty well on the fly. All right, I'm willing to get started if you guys are. It's 40 minutes of intro, 40 minutes of start soon, and people don't even know what start soon means. It just means that I'm sitting here chewing the fat with you guys instead of actually working on a project. So, all right, I'm gonna get start soon out of here. We're gonna hit the start soon button, boom. And then I'm going to gradually and tastefully fade out the music. Where did it go? Okay, it's gone. It's gone. It's okay. The YouTubers couldn't hear it anyway. They won't be scared of my music. Okay, we're putting magnets into my keyboard. Why? Because this is my keyboard. All of the tabs for the bevel fell off. All of them. They just fell off. I've had this keyboard for years and years and years. We have gone to the lengths to actually install quick mechanical keyboard into this keyboard. And I kind of went overboard. I kind of went crazy and I added all these wires to a Raspberry Pi Pico and I did all this soldering and this beautiful work. Why? Why did you do this, Father? Because I spill things on my keyboard. It is an unfortunate reality of being who I am, is that sometimes I will reach for something on my desk. Oh, that probably altered audio pretty badly because my lav mic. But look, I swipe for stuff on the desk and I caught a glass of anything, hopefully not sugary because I'm diabetic, a fellow spiller. I don't know if we want to be called spillers, but with the design of the Code 10 keyless keyboard, I like this keyboard a lot. It's got Cherry MX clears and it had a little microcontroller down here. The problem with it being down here is that when you spill something, when you spill your orange juice, only orange juice, on the keyboard, this stuff pools in this thin section and it gets into the microcontroller, and then your keyboard types a bunch of random crap into some streamer that you're watching and it says very embarrassing things. Actually, it does go completely haywire and type a bunch of weird stuff because whatever the matrix is that it's scanning has like false positives, so you get like weird characters and stuff. Sometimes it hits enter. I'm petrified that one of these days I'm going to be lurking in somebody's chat, spill on the keyboard, and then it'll just like instantly render that. And there's all kinds of horrible curse words in there. But yeah, it'll do something like that into somebody's chat inadvertently, and they'll go, "What the hell is this guy?" We're going to blacklist him from all of our friends. So what I'm trying to, this actually resolutely solved all of the spilling issues. And then water pools down here, characters go weird, buttons do things they shouldn't, but my microprocessor is up and safe and dry. That's worked really well, and we even added a little screen, even though all I've gotten the screen to do is just say QMK with a logo. That's fun. We still haven't gotten these two to work either, the LEDs. I still have to do that. But for now, it has been a really nice keyboard. It's worked really well. I bought these keycaps on Amazon. They're double shot PBT or whatever, and they illuminate nicely with the LEDs that I put on. We changed it over to our orange LEDs. The problem is, as I keep spilling crap on my keyboard and I'm not learning these lessons over and over again, I have to open this thing up again. There's one screw, one singular screw that goes right there that I lost thousands of years ago. And I could replace it with another screw, but all that does is hold the middle of the bevel on, middle of the front piece on, and so it would still have weird issues. All the little tabs have snapped off because this is like a snap together plastic shell thing. It's nice and cheap to make little snaps that sort of link your top half to your bottom half. My thoughts on this is that I would like to replace the snaps with magnets. And so with magnets, the top half and the bottom half will just snap together and it'll stay relatively intact as I move it around my desk. And then maybe one day I'll try to pick it up and it'll just, come apart. That's fine. But if I spill something in it, I can just rip it apart and hit it with air and clean it off quickly. What's up, Lawlin? How you doing? So, I have a lot of little magnets. I'm gonna get them right now. They're on the side of the desk because the desk is metal. The desk is metal, so I've put magnets on the side of it. Actually, you guys can come along this journey with me. Oh, corgis are barking at stuff. Woof, woof. 3 years ago, we bought a corgi, and she is the love of my life. She's the cutest dog in the world. Her name is Willow. And I've done some revisions on the commands, the things that are being scraped from chat. And so we've got some extra stuff, extra sauce going on. I'm going to eventually make it so that there's an actual picture of the dog. But for right now, we just set it up in Node-RED. Oh, I didn't do all caps. All caps doesn't do it. Willow. Boink. Your little, that was AI that made that. Here, I have an actual picture of the dog. I'll show you the picture of the dog. Where's the picture of the dog? If you want to see pictures, if you guys out there in internet land want to see pictures of the adorable corgi, just simply go to my Discord and go to the pet picture section for pictures of animals that you took. That's the important one. But that's Willow. She's in her little bed. She's in her little bed and she's having the time of her life, wondering why I'm holding this weird triangle up to her face. I have thousands of pictures of my dog, and I'll put them into a slideshow so we can have a little window pop up with a picture of her. I just need to go through the phone and get 10,000 images off of it, which we can do another time. Or I could do right now. Actually, I could do that right now, can I? It's my show. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to do what's in the, it's not gonna take us very long to do magnets in the keyboard body. So let me set up that command. I wanna set up that command. It's going to be through Twitch, but what's gonna happen is if it contains Willow, we turn on a scene, and I will take Willow pics away from that one, and we'll just make it Willow as I put together before, and then the scene ID is 27. And so that one, and then this one becomes Willow, and actually it's easier to edit it when you put it like this. There we go. Willow, and then this one's 27. Click done. And so the slideshow will show a new image every 2 seconds. So you've got a delay of 2 seconds, and then it turns it off. And it'll pause when it's not active. We set that up in OBS just a minute ago. I had it up on. What's up, Clarence Wiggleheimer? While testing your code, I wasn't able to get the Willow pop-up to appear for all of my test cases. I'm moving this Jira ticket back into progress. Shoot me a DM when you have the changes published. Oh, dear God, this is becoming like a job. My jobby. These are the only iterations of Willow that it will work with. That's it. You get an exclamation point, and you can consider that a gift. Since I'm not charging you guys points for that. I might turn it over to channel points. That might be a channel point redeem. Our only channel point redeem right now is for making a physical fart noise in my actual shop. This is the fart box. Channel point, the text is hard to see, but it says channel point fart box. It is a Harman Kardon speaker, which is an, that's just rude. When you pick it up, I guess it farts. It's supposed to be illuminated by LEDs. This is like, I don't know, fledgling bother working on this. But the thing is, Three Mares, who's probably not in chat right now, but she sent me this little dollar store fart noise maker that makes 9 fart noises. And we discovered that we could just put a transistor on it. And so I got an ESP, one of these wireless microcontrollers, soldered it to the board, hooked it up to the 9 fart noises, and made a channel points redemption where you guys can fart in the shop. It's particularly toxic when I get up and reach for something and my butt's on camera. You guys go nuts at this thing. But the interesting thing about it, and people freaking out, the interesting thing about the fart noise maker is that it is not an digital thing that I just clicked a couple buttons and added to my overlays. It is an actual noise being made in meat space that is very, very distracting. People have made my heart jump out of my throat with this thing by making a fart noise when I touch something that might be electrified, thinking that I may or may not get shocked. It is incredibly toxic. One of these days, I'm actually going to have a physical heart attack on stream, and chat's just going to send fart noises out. That'll be it. That'll be my fate. Actually, my fate, we already know what my fate is that one day I'm going to buy an industrial robot arm, and it will crush me to death. That's just going to happen. That's just the way it is. All right, so the next thing I want to do is the last thing that a streamer should ever do, and that's plug their phone up to the machine that they're using to stream. And then I'm going to rifle through and get some photos off of this thing. I'll maybe not show you guys the photos because I don't really know if I want. I don't think there's anything particularly salacious in my photo reel. I don't think so, but we're just going to play it a little safe. Tap for more options. There we go. File transfer, Android Auto, USB tethering, webcam. You can use your phone as a webcam? Verify it's me. Yes, it's me. I want to transfer all the files off of this phone because I am a bad actor. A robot that's controlled by Twitch chat. Early on, like back when I was trying to partner, we got a really nice raid from Rabaz, who's like a friend of mine. And I can say that he's a friend of mine, and I haven't PM'd him in 3 years. That's called being friends with a Swedish person. They have crippling social anxiety. But anyway, Rabaz, he raided a long time ago when I had a little tank on the desktop. It was a similar surface to this one. It was a little rubber treaded tank. I still have it. And we had it running with chat commands. So this is back when Twitch had multiple chat rooms. And so in the side chat room, we had people giving forward, left, right, back commands, right? And they would move the tank around and have it scooch around on the desk. And when Rabas raided, I said, you know what, let's take this up a notch. And so I took an X-Acto knife. This is a scalpel. By the way, you shouldn't buy an X-Acto knife, buy a scalpel. Scalpels are much better. You don't have, when you twist the knife, it doesn't loosen up the front piece. This will stay connected really, really well unless you're really abusing the knife. And then these are sharper and cheaper than X-Acto blades. Do not buy an X-Acto knife. Just get a scalpel handle and scalpel blades. And then you can get a variety of different scalpel blades. You can get the ones that look like a claw. This one happens to be Sean Morton. It was made in, this BS was made in England. Huh. 10A is the particular X-Acto shaped blade. But anyway, I had this little tank that chat could control, and I taped a knife to it. And so it was scooching around with this knife in its front, and I have never seen a more crazed chat room. I mean, you can go to the big streamers and they've got 10,000 people, so obviously the most unhinged shit in the world is just flying by. But this chat was flying by, but it had a singular purpose, and their singular purpose was to stab me with a knife. And they were extremely adamant about doing it, and they were not bad at it either. They got the thing to turn towards me and come at me, and I held up a thing of painter's tape, and it actually stabbed into the painter's tape a little bit to the point where I had to pull it out in order to release it. The thing is, it had absolutely no inertia behind it, and it was completely slipping on the slippery surface here. So they did actually poke me with it, but it didn't actually break skin at all. We'll wait for the first responders to be on site and then fart. Well, at least you guys are coordinated in such things. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It really kind of amped up the danger factor of having a little remote control tank on your desk. Wear phone. Pixel 6. Boop. AAPS is the thing running my insulin pump right now. Whoa, what's my blood glucose doing? That's one thing that I didn't get to show off. Was where's that window? Think Tech BRB. I know I put a button to this, didn't I? Chat, scope. I've got the think dialogue that I fixed. Oh, that's the wrong one. BRB, no, I didn't put it there. Oh, geez, okay. We need that on front and center. Overlays, and then BG we take and we put here. How am I controlling that? Yeah, I'm just turning on an overlay. Okay, yeah. So now I have control of that. So this is actually a website. Oh, that's not the one I wanted. cgmdatabot.herokuapp.com, I think. And it is literally my blood glucose level 5 minutes ago with a 5-minute delay, and all of the insulin that's being injected via pod into my arm. I just did a new pump this morning. Hold on, we go to back to this thing. What is this called? Stream Deck. There we go. Jeez. Overlays, and then there should be like a windowed blood glucose. Maybe I don't have a button for it. Let's fix that. Copy, paste, BG, and then this one would be frameless. I want the framed overlay. Frame, blood glucose. Actually, oh, I don't know if I can do that. I gotta figure out how to make that scene active in the individual scene that I'm in. Oh, that's gonna be more complicated. Okay, so maybe I can't have a, because I've got a framed one. The way I do this is I have scenes that have the frames around them, and then I have scenes that are just orphaned things that don't have frames around them. And the things with frames around them are using filters in order to create that, and then I can call them up in my different scenes and they can have different properties. Why is that cut off? What is going on? Wait. Okay, we're finding all kinds of stuff that's weird about my scenes today. Is that actually, it is actually cut off? Or no, it's just my window isn't large enough. Yeah, there we go. OBS, great, wonderful, amazing. Thank you for displaying that to me. It's not fitting my view into the, that's weird. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, well, anyway. So yeah, I have to activate it in OBS. Frame, blood glucose, boom, there, nice and neat. Nice and neat and clean looking. So yeah, that's my blood glucose 5 minutes ago with a 5-minute delay. It's 263 because I had ramen noodles for lunch. I shouldn't have done that. It was too much carbs, but the pump is dealing with it pretty nicely. It is bringing my glucose level back down. The one that really kills me is the middle of the morning, like right when I woke up at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. Why is it, wait, 6 p.m.? Yeah, 6 p.m. I redid the thing. And then around 6 a.m., you can see there's like a bump where it goes all the way up to hyperglycemia and then back down because the pump dealt with it. I didn't need anything. I went to bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning. And then by the time I fell asleep, my glucose shoots up to 200, 300. I don't know what that was all about. The pump dealt with it automatically because that's what Android Auto Pancreas System's doing. All of this prompted just for me seeing that folder AAPS sitting on my desktop. I'm gonna have to update that soon, and I hope side loading in Android is still a thing. Okay, so frame BG can go away. Where did that go? I'll eventually move this to the nope, that's not. I'll eventually move this to the Stream Deck. Yeah, your liver decided to spit some out. Yeah, exactly. It was like, hey man, you want some glucagon? And I'm asleep, so I can't answer it. And it's like, all right, I'm gonna give you some glucagon. The liver is a jerk. You will learn if you get diabetes. Oh, there it is. Boop. Okay, so photos, camera, and then this is where I need to make, I guess I'll make a folder. It's probably gotta have to be loaded up into, it's called Willow. And then from there, oh my God, there's videos and stuff too. Oh, it's taken a while. You guys think there's anything salacious on this? I'm gonna do the big preview view. yeah, check this out, man. Raises blood glucose level, I end up in the hospital. Why can't I change my view? How do I use Windows? Okay, extra large icons. Boy, these go back quite a ways. Oh my God, it's Willow's mom. I think that's Willow's mom. That dog right there. I think that's Willow's mom. That's so cute. Wow, these are from 3 years ago when Willow was a itty bitty baby. Oh, device is currently busy. Look at her as a baby. Look at Willow. She's so cute. All right, I'm taking that one. The baby picture. I don't know if I want to go through 3 years of my dog peeling off every single individual picture. We'll go to the most recent ones because the baby ones will be too cute, and it'll kill me when. Put that in there. I'll open this up like this. Well, yeah, I'm doing drag and drop because I'm not good at computers. I am actually I'm extremely good at computers. What am I saying? Oh, these are like model shots. That's a really good one. Where'd the other one go? I had 2 pictures of her with the where did the other one go? Wait a minute, did it store somewhere else? I had 2 pictures of her among the cherry blossoms or whatever. These are like amazing shots. I can turn that into a desktop background. Like a mean older brother. Yeah, it's just poke the bear. I don't understand where the other Willow picture ended up. That's interesting. Good old Android. Put some silly ones in. This one, that's a good one. I'm just going to do this real quick because it enables a really fun little feature that'll be more fun than what I have right now. A good winter picture. And I've got gigabytes of pictures of this dog. I'll take that one. Depending on how random is. I hope random is random enough. Random. That one, take one of these. Oh, I already have that one, canceled. Do I have the goblin shot? Nope. This one is her being a total goblin. Total goblin. That's Willow for you. We'll put her over here. That's the level of artistry that I wish to bring into this world. The quality. Let's see here. Do we have just like a Willow looks like a normal dog picture? Not really. You gotta actually capture the cute puppy dog properly. There she looks like a little button. Grab this one at the fireplace because it's fancy. Actually, the closer up one is better. Delete. This is what I need to do with a little digital picture frame that my brother has. It's apparently you have to load these photos up into Amazon so that Jeff Bezos can look at all your finest moments when he's cackling to himself. Oh, Willow at a party. A fancy party. She's just like, please help me. Get me out of here. Why am I here? Help. You have to help me. Yeah, we got that one. And we can do this one. Oh, that's her not wanting to poke her nose out. Willow outside. I'm going to get just a couple more, and then we'll load them up, and we'll have a new chat command, and we can see whether or not it coordinates properly. Dog in snow. Dog sideways in her bed. Perfect. 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 Let's see. On the curb. I have some videos of Willow walking around, and I was going to make them into a walkies scene, but I never got around to editing video or collecting all of those videos together. So somewhere in my phone, there's like 2 gigabytes of Willow walking around outside. Let's see, that one's okay. That one's kind of silly. The purpose of this is that if you say Willow's name in chat, a random photo of her is going to come up in a little window. And I'll hopefully be able to restrict the size of that window. Yeah, if you guys say her name right now, it pops up just that image, just that one image. Total goblin, yeah. She's a good girl. Let's see. Asleep. Asleep. I am a menace with taking these pictures. If I found these pictures on somebody's phone and they were of me looking like this, I would not be happy. Here she's bored. She sits at the front door upstairs during streams. I used to be able to get her to come down here and visit while streaming, and she used to say hi, and we'd do some tricks with her, and it was a whole lot of fun. And then she decided that me yelling at the furniture was not exactly her scene, and so when I'm in here and she's like here with me, what just happened? Did I just freeze Windows? Yes, I did. Okay, what else is broken? I'm still streaming? Okay, that started up. Lawn Dog is in chat. My folder is gone. Windows just completely whiffed on that. Stream's okay. What? A whole bunch of command windows just came in. What the? Oh boy. What was that? Virus.exe. That's one folder. View. Where's my view controls? Oh, it's still loading in. It's taking forever. Yeah, it was just Windows Explorer going, and then dying. Dying on me. I never gave you permission to die. Okay, where are we? We are somewhere in 2025. This is still... the thing is, on the Android phone, it's like stored differently. And so the Android phone has to present itself to Windows as if it's a drive. And so that's what's going on right here, is it's kind of reconciling all these thumbnails and stuff into being a drive. You can't really open these directly off of the phone. It plugged in, it kind of mimics a thumb drive of some kind. So these are like specially laid out for accessing it via USB. I have to do this when I sideload Android Auto Pancreas system into the phone. Is I got to plug it in like this and then transfer the file in and then open it up in some kind of file explorer, which I love that I can do that. And I really hope they don't take that away from Android phones, because if they take that away, we will have lost something that makes Android phones capable of being my pancreas, simply due to the fact that the third-party medical software is technically compiled and programmed by me to experiment on myself. What it really is that the files are available, you get all the development stuff, and then you compile them and then sideload them onto your phone. So it may be that at some point, I need to like register as an Android developer. I should make an app. I should, it's the whole engineer thing. The whole engineer thing is you got to be cocky about everything, like literally everything. You have to basically say, yeah, of course I could do that. to anything. They, you know, you apply for a job and they go, hey, can you use Altium to make a circuit board? And you go, yeah, I was doing that the other day. I love doing that. And they go, oh, cool. Now you get this job and we're not going to train you. And so you're sitting in front of this blisteringly expensive CAD program going, man, I wonder what I click on in order to do anything on this program. That's just how it is. So when it comes to like, I've programmed things before, of course I know how to make an app. Although you never admit verbally that you know how to make an app, because then people want you to make their app. Could you just make my app? No, I can't. No, I don't think I can. All right, extra large icons. I'm scrolling through. Oh my God, there's a lot of photos on this phone. My phone is mostly photos. I need to go through and delete 90% of them. Oh my God, that's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so where were we? Wow, we're raw. Do a snowy one. Boink. Let's see. I think I already got through the snow ones though. Yeah, I did. All right, let's scroll, and then I'm going to take like 5 or 6 more, and then we'll make it a thing. These are all fairly recent too. I mean, they're from like barely this year. Some of them are last year. I have a lot of photos of Willow being a goblin, don't I? There's another one. Doink. That's a goblin photo. This one's a good goblin photo. I should crop these though. This one's just her butt. That'll be a good one. That'll be a good one of just my dog's butt. Just her butt, nothing else. Doink. That's a calendar photo. Let's see. I think we got these. I'm scrolling through these photos. You guys are not allowed to see all of my photos. I honestly, I don't think there's anything salacious in here, but just to be sure. Salacious or identifiable. Oh yeah, her glowing at night with the electric dog collar. Not the one that we built. The one that we built, I need to bring it back and test it a little bit, so I'm not blowing up my dog with electricity. But this is the simply lit up version of that collar at night. It just basically makes her neck hair glow. It's not much of a glowing collar because she's got that big mane of hair around her neck. Yeah, it looks bright on the camera, but the camera is not a human eyeball. Camera is not a human eyeball. Back of the head. I got a lot of pictures of her just looking up at me. She's very short. She's a very short dog. She's not a big dog. I remember the brand of big dogs. Anyway, moving through. Oh, her and a couple buddies. These two dogs, these mini. Oh, oh, she's dead. The two little guys. Where did that photo go? Where did the photo go? Where's the photo that I just put in here? It's of her and her two buddies. What are they, like, not going in? No, it's just I haven't noticed it yet. What the heck? Where is the photo of her and her two buddies? Did it not transfer? Or did it just end up in a spot where I don't quite see it? Her on the curb, upside down, all this stuff. Dude. Wait a second. Are these not transferring properly? Is my drag and drop methodology failing? That may be happening. Or maybe the phone's in some kind of a dire strait. What's going on here? No, it's not saying anything weird. Are all the photos that I chose just not going over? Oh no, here it is. Yeah, this is these two little guys right here are best friends. The three of them just jump all over each other when they're outside. It's very cute to witness. I would get a video of it, but people aren't quiet, and so it would be a little too doxing for folks. Do one of these. Oh, it's already in there. Cancel. Maybe not the car picture. Under the desk, I have 5,000 photos of her under the desk because it's very cute. That's the desk sitting behind me. She'll sleep there during the day sometimes. When I'm quiet. And if I'm not quiet enough, she gets annoyed. It's my brother's dog and Willow. Actually, Willow by the fan on a hot day, although it's a little... Yeah, we'll put it in there. Okay, I think that's enough Willow pictures for now, just to test the proof of concept. Oh, I need this one. Need this one. Okay, so from there, what can I do? I think I can go to OBS. Go to OBS. Oops. Let's make that small. Go to OBS. Go to the scene that I want it to be. So I need to go to studio mode so that I can open this up without changing what stream looks like. And then I need to go down to my frameless overlay. And here's the Willow slideshow. And then, can I add a whole folder? What would, add directory, there we go. And so desktop, Willow, boom, select. Okay, so now that's huge, and it's showing a new one every 2 seconds, but I can at least get it into position here. Oh boy. How did, Oh, I need to do it in the frameless. Yeah, so studio mode, and then we go into frameless. And take this. That's the wrong one. Pump change is a whole bunch of text, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, that's pump change. Get rid of that one. Bring back Willow. Click on it. There we go. Get to the edge. I don't want it to fit the whole screen. I want it to be just a little window. And then we'll put that like right here. Get a little smaller. Now, what I could do is I could actually put it in as replacing my face. Now, we'll put it right here, though. Okay, so now to check the mechanics on it. So I'm going to unview it, and then it should be paused. And if it's coordinated properly, what I'll do... Okay, hold on, let's get this out of the way. I don't know why my OBS isn't scaling. All right, click OK on that. Bring this back to size. Sorry, I'm redoing production stuff right now, so it's a little bit wonky. I mean, all we're doing today is we're gonna like glue or tape some magnets inside of this bevel so that it stays together. So okay, we got all the pictures in there. We've got the Willow scene set up. What I haven't done is I haven't sent it to Node-RED yet. And so in Node-RED, I've renamed it to lowercase Willow, and then the number is 27, like I jotted down before. And so now if I deploy this, presumably it won't show 2 pictures, but let's just test it a bit. Okay, oh, and then it barely shows another one. So it's not, I don't think it's as coordinated as it should be. Yeah, it like barely shows the next one and then moves on. Whoa, what happened there? It didn't have 2 seconds. Or no, is it 1,000 milliseconds to a second? I think so. 190 milliseconds. Let's try that. That might just boop boop. Ah, it switches anyway right at the end. It keeps switching to the same one too. It's her looking like a goblin. I guess I'll keep it for 2 seconds then. Did that not do anything? What happened? All right, hold on. Deploy that. So now if I go Burp. It's going to the same picture every time, actually, which I'm actually thinking is hilarious. It should be 1900. Oh, so that's maybe not... What's going on with that, then? Yeah, it's 1,000 to... And so, yeah, it should not 190. Sorry, my brain is not working today. I think when it switches off, it goes to the same picture I'm seeing. So, like, I deploy that, and then I say, "What's up, Dutchmania?" Willow. Boop. Oh, that's not going to the same one, then. Weird. Huh. What if I do it again now? It goes to that one, and then it switches off suddenly. I think maybe because I stopped it somewhere in the middle of the transition. So in the future, I think this will be a little bit more coordinated. Like when I close OBS and open it again, I think it'll coordinate itself better. 2. Done. For now, it'll be just a little bit janky. But there, any mention of Willow gets a quick little photo out of the random directory. And we set that up in, what, 45 minutes? About that much. A little less than that. And that was most of the time spent on that was getting the pictures. And then it doesn't respond every now and then. It's not a guarantee, I guess. That should have done it. Why is it only responding to me? Or is Clarence Wiggleheimer shadow banned? Somebody else try it. Say Willow. Somebody do that. Somebody other than me. Go. Do thing. There it is. So yeah, you get a random Willow picture every time you say her name. How dare you say her name? It doesn't seem to like doing follow-ups very quickly, does it? Because that should have worked perfectly fine. Why didn't anything come up? It seems like it needs a cooldown for no reason when you guys type, but when I type, it's fine. Maybe the Twitch API is like rate limiting me. Yeah, it's really nice to have the Node-RED set up to integrate things into Stream. It really works nicely. And you can get it running pretty quickly once you know what's going on. It took me forever to figure out why the scene wasn't turning on, and it was because I didn't have the scene item ID in there, because apparently the API that I'm using with Node-RED is not all that well programmed. It's not amazing at its job. And so in the documentation, it said, this is an optional field. No, it's not. It's required. And the only way you can get that number, you can't get it in OBS. You can only get it through the OBS API. And so I have to actually send it a command that says, hey, for this scene, I need to know what the thing is. The return I should probably append to this, because that way, every time it does something with the scene, it'll just get its own scene ID. That would have been better, but I'm too lazy to automate that. So I just have this little tool to get the ID for anybody that wants to use the Twitch API thing. Who does this thing again? Event subnode. Well, I don't know. I guess I don't have a link to it. There was a way that you could get the... Oh yeah, that's... Event sub listener is what it's called. And then it's got this huge reference document. Torpal. Maybe. I don't know. Or uses Torpal. Anyway, whatever. Done. Done with that. All right. Back to the subject at hand. We can disconnect this. This is going to wreak havoc on my computer. All right. Back to work. So I had been using this keyboard for a little while. I've had it for years. We've done a lot of modifications to it, to the degree where every time I spill stuff on it, I need to break apart a whole bunch of snaps. And these snaps were not made to last. In fact, they were quite, well, I mean, they did their best, but they all broke off, and they left me with these kind of pseudo snaps that sort of direct the two bevels nicely, but this is how you prevent seams from being on your design, and you can clip the two things together instead of using a bunch of screws. And that apparently is the design language that everybody loves these days. The screws are anathema, which I very much disagree with. I like having, what the hell is that? Piece of 3D printed stuff. I like having screws on my devices. It would be nice if this one had them, because then it wouldn't be in such dire straits. When I spill stuff on it, this is a code 10 keyless. Code 10 keyless. I guess it was spawned for the Model M. Mine's an old model. It uses Cherry MX clears. And I've replaced the keycaps, and I've replaced the processor with my own Raspberry Pi Pico. So the Raspberry Pi Pico is simply scanning all the rows and columns, and it's hooked up to a couple muxes so that it can activate the voltage on the rows and then scan it with the inputs for the columns. And so that's how I do it. It's a little bit slow because I'm using analog multiplexers, and the analog multiplexers are designed for analog signals and not a digital 1 or 0. So they're a little bit slower. They have a more settle time before you get that data back out of them. It's fine. It works okay. The original microprocessor was right here. Originally, it was on its own separate breakout board. So you have this little breakout board like that. Nowadays, they put the chip on the actual circuit board itself because it's cheaper. And if I spill something on this, because of the volume behind the circuit board, it concentrates stuff here where it gets onto that microprocessor. It's how mine is, where the processor is, yeah. And so if I spill something on it, this thing goes, ah, and then dies. And so it permanently died. So we replaced it with the Pico Pi. I was going to make a little flexible circuit board that would be a mod that you could just solder to the original pads, but because of tariffs, I have absolutely no idea if that design is going to go anywhere now. Things have kind of settled out, but in an afternoon that can change. And so I have been reluctant to buy circuit boards these days from the suppliers that I like, which is Seed Studio. They have a nice PCB service that works really well. It is QMK now, identical to mine, WASD keys, TKL, lowercase, is almost 1-to-1, including where the dip switches are located. My dip switches are no longer there. We did a little bit of circuit bending and we put a button there, and that's for reprogramming the QMK keyboard. You absolutely should not hit that button at any point because it expects software if you hit it, and I don't remember how to program it. I think you have to like drag and drop software onto it. Oh yeah, Seed's done PCBs for a while. They've been the ones that they've been my go-to. Here, check this out. I wish I had a sponsorship from them, man. If anybody knows somebody at Seed Studio. This feels too close. Oh, we had this in close mode. Yeah, let's go a little further out. With how the internals are, pretty sure it's the same keyboard. Yeah, it's got like a weird row and column setup where around where you put like home row is scanned more often than the others. But like Seed Studio made this circuit board, and it's really quite nice. There's probably actually a link to Seed Studio somewhere on here. I gotta build up some of these. There's still a mistake in this part of the circuit board, but I can kind of do little edits and change it around. I, of course, shamelessly put my name all over it. But I should build these up into a couple modular synth modules. Little digital jobbies. But yeah, Seed Studio makes a fine circuit board. It's their Fusion service. And you can actually order it with a pop-down in Fusion 360, which is the program I use. I know not a lot of people use it, but I use it for circuit design, and it's quite nice. I like it a lot. It's a law. It's a law. I gotta unplug this without scratching my hand. This plug is not a very pluggy plug. It's the same plug that you get on stepper motors, but it is a beast when you've got a through-hole thing. Having a horizontal plug is just the most cursed decision ever, because when you get this thing to finally unplug, it's going to shoot this way, and it's going to scrape you up on all these little ends of leads. How are their prices compared to the usual suspects in China? The same. All said and done, shipping to Pennsylvania, I get out for like, I think 50-ish, 60 maybe, but it's $5 boards. Actually, it's like $30 to $40 for 5 boards. of an original design, which is insane considering that this is pro. Some of the other places I've tried have like slightly blurry solder mat or silk screening, and this is immaculate. This is like exactly what I designed in CAD, and it looks nice, and it's got a nice solder mask, and it's been really well produced. It doesn't have any of those like subtle telltale signs that this is done at a board, like a quick board house, you know. Yours is from 2017. What's mine from? 2018. Mine's youngerish. Do they offer PNP? You got to go to the website. I'm not shilling them. Some of these keys are still a little bit cursed. When we used the toothbrush on this board, it didn't exactly completely clean up the board. This thing was disgusting, but we used a toothbrush to clean it up because a toothbrush is a really good tool to, you know, kind of get into the nooks and crannies of things. And it turned out we were just smearing the sticky stuff all over it. We cleaned up a significant portion, but some of the keys that I use less often are not as apt to return to their original positions. They kind of stick down a little bit or take a little bit too much force to push. That one's not exactly cooperating with me. So anyway, in the course of having this and spilling shit on it like I predicted, we have been left with 0 tabs holding this thing together. So I would like to try to replace the tabs with magnets. I would like this thing to stick together using these neodymium magnets. Do we have enough of the little ones? That's 3 inches that's pulling it from. Jeez. Okay, the foam probably should go. You know, you do this kind of stuff and you end up collecting things like magnets. How many clasps am I going to need? Because I would like it to be the smaller ones. Jeez. It's a law. It's a law. Oh, I have plenty. One of these days, I'm not going to have enough magnets, and that'll be a sad day for a bother. Jeez. I don't deal with big, powerful magnets. I deal with little, powerful magnets. And I can see in just dealing with these right here that if I got a bunch of big, powerful magnets, I would absolutely crush my hand. I would no longer have hand because this is like out of control just with the little ones. So I have a feeling that none of these are really going to be the right thing. Like especially these wide, flat ones. I don't think I can do what I would want to do with them, like have them stick down so that would kind of capture it. I don't think that's a good idea. You swapped your key switches with what? I like the Cherry MX clears. And I've actually refurbished these. I took them all out. I put them in a colander, washed them, dried them. All the mechanical keyboard nonsense it's a lot of it's kind of inflated. I don't know. It's too much. The Cherry MX clears have a fine feel to them. They're they're not the snappy ones. And with the double shot PBT keys, that means that you won't wear through the markings because they're actually molded into the plastic. So as you smooth out the plastic, you can see my I and O key are a little bit, maybe you guys can't see that at that angle, but they're a little bit shiny in some places. That's what happens. They go from kind of like a matte texture to shiny because you've pressed them so many times, you're kind of machining them. You're sort of sanding them away by pushing on them a lot. And that'll eventually happen to this, and when I get annoyed with it, I'll probably go into Amazon and I'll look at my order history and I'll find the same double shot PBT keys, and they'll probably have been discontinued. So I'll have to find a different listing. Yeah, I did not like the Cherry Blues. Oh, so Kali, who's actually the switches are in my mouse, are that company. Linear ones. So are they, I mean, I would guess they're the same dimensions as the Cherries, but they're not Cherry MX, so they probably are affordable. How are we going to hold these on? And do we have space? So 3 on the back, 2 sides, 3 on the front, 1 in the front, and 2 in the back. Or not, or this isn't going to work. Hold on. Or this is not going to work. I mean, the other way to do it would be to stick to the metal across here, but then it would still like break apart too easily. Do I have space for these little guys? They're going to want to stick to that metal for sure. I mean, it kind of looks like I have space, but I'm definitely going to have to like kind of modify it. Drop-in replacements, aka soldering. Yeah, those there are sockets for mechanical keyboard keys that you can buy, so you can just pluck these things out in their entirety. And that would be very convenient for me indeed, if I had that. Like, if I had the milling machine working and I could hold this thing down properly, I could probably mill in magnet, I don't know, cutouts. Because that would have to go in between these two things. I mean, it could also go here. But I need to make more of a cut to make that work. And then it risks sticking out. It might actually stick out of the keyboard. Which I guess I'm not terribly offended at. It's not that big of a deal. But what would I mean... I can get my hand drill and try to get an end mill in it and just kind of like chip away at it until I've got a little cutout for a magnet. Make a little room for an ant to hide. Nature's candy in my hand, or can, or pie. Wow. Hey, what's going on, lines and squares? If I get that right up to the edge and I get an end mill that's just about that size, let's see what end mills I have. Let's see what end mills I have. Nothing I'm doing today is going to be anything but cursed. When you refurbish your key switches, did you fully disassemble them and re-grease? Yes. I forget what grease I used. I used some very light machine grease of some kind. And it did fine. They did just fine. But yeah, I fully took everything apart. I degreased it and cleaned. And then I put them all back together. Never the wiser of what happened to them. So that's a little smaller than the magnet, but only by a little bit. Only by a little, well, no, actually by a lot of bit. That's actually not the right size. I don't know what size these magnets are, but that's not going to cut me a magnet holder properly. What about you? Not quite, huh? These are larger than I thought. I mean, I could try to use the milling machine to do it, but I think the hand drill is going to be the better tool to use for this thing. Wait, did I just test this one? This is the one that I just tried? No, that's the right one. So that's actually the right size. Okay. So there is our drill bit, quote unquote. Is this a plunging end mill? It is a broken, no, wait, no. It's not broken, okay. What I'm looking for is to see that the cutting edge goes all the way to the center of the end mill. That's important because if you want to drop this down vertically, like if I dropped it down vertically, it would make a complete cutout of its own profile. If you don't have that, if the flutes end in the middle, you will be machining a little plug in the middle of what you're dropping in on. This thing is not meant for plunging. It does not cut in this axis. It cuts in this axis and this axis. It does not cut this way. You have to drill a hole first, and the hole has to be larger than the diameter of what's missing there. The thing about this style of end mill, it's much easier to sharpen. You don't have to get all the way in there to sharpen it like that. This is just much easier to sharpen. You don't risk dulling its buddy next to it when you sharpen it. And so a lot of these end mills that I have are broken. These are shop rejects. That's how I got the vast collection of weird end mills that I have, and why I have things like 2 flutes and 1 flute and one that's just this Star Destroyer, not the Star Destroyer, the Imperial Intro to Star. Dun, 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 dun. There it is. Yeah, this is like a super duper, I need to cut something huge. For a while, I used to buy scrap end mills by the pound and sharpen them for profit on eBay. That sounds kind of cool. I mean, it's like, you know, you just sit there and grind away at stuff. You're on that grind. Oh God, what did I say? Why did I say that? Yeah, from what I heard from buddies of mine who do like machining stuff, they were just like, I have a website that I just activate for like tooling, and people will, customers will just find me at that point. And I thought that was always kind of cool because I am terrible at getting clients. I am absolutely the worst for the type of stuff that I do is weird. It's not exactly simple to find clients. So I envy being able to just turn on a website and then people start contacting you. For thick cuts, yeah. I don't know if this is going to be a good thing to do. This is going to be kind of a cursed thing to do. But the alternative to what we're doing today is for me to measure or 3D scan and make my own. But I don't really, I don't really want to make my own. Yeah, I shouldn't do that with the drill. I should just twist it with my hand. But we're just going to do a test cut and see if we don't ruin it. This is nasty. This is a nasty keyboard. The title, the YouTube like thumbnail for the stream where we were cleaning this was absolutely vile, and I just put the word gross on top of it. And I put the word gross on this stream too because it made me laugh. But knowing that all of this stuff is being stored right below your keyboard is nasty. Let's take a paper towel to this just to not, showcase the absolutely disgusting state of my 2018 eight-year-old keyboard. My 8-year-old keyboard. Windex. Put it up on the shelf because it was in the way. Now it's back in the way and not up on the shelf. Windex reformulated a while back so that they were safe to use on monitors, on the plastic on the monitors to clean off your monitor. And so as a weak cleaning agent, works quite nice for something like this. I've never had it damage plastic on me, even when it was the old formula. But people will claim that it'll ruin your monitor. But I think a lot of the monitor ruining came from spraying way too much of it onto the monitor, and then it would get into the seams of the plastic and render your monitor dead. It would like get into the backlighting and stuff. The thing is, like, I do this and it looks exactly the same. Like, those stains are still there. What were those stains? Why have they altered the plastic permanently? What was I drinking? What is possibly this horrible of a substance? Rabaz did a whole post where he was, a YouTube video where he was cleaning his keyboard, and that thing was disgusting. And yet somehow I managed to make it grosser. Just the implication of whatever the hell happened here not going away when I use Windex on it, which is, decently, I mean, it's not like goof off or anything, but like, what is going on there? Who knows? Weird. All right, so let's permanently ruin my keyboard. We'll take a stab at this one right here. And I guess what I want to do is I want to cut a little outline. That's going to be very hard to do with a hand drill. I'll tell you that much. The milling machine kind of spoils you. You think that the end mill is just going to plunge into anything, but this is really going to fight back when I start getting into it. And the plastic is very easy to cut. So I don't know if we're going to be successful about this, but I'll try. Like, I kind of want to go in like that. Technically, I would want to go from the top and cut in, but I don't think I'm going to manage that. Yeah, that's not really going to work unless we're in the mill. I don't know how I'd hold this in the mill either. Nope, that's not right. That part twists. What the? Mouse is clicking stuff. The bevel's getting into it. And yeah, so the problem, my big problem is I've tried doing this before with this thing, and I tried cutting a square in the end mill, in the mill with this thing held in with all the vices and stuff, and this is not cut out very well. We used a 3D scanner on it in order to get its shape, and then I was able to print a 3D print that fits in there. It actually clicks into the thing nicely, but there were some issues with it. I've just got tint tape over the top of it right now. This is not a perfect square. I could have made a perfect square in the end mill if I'd held this thing down properly, but if you pinch the plastic, it's malleable and it moves. So holding something down, I guess what I really should have done is gotten a block of wood that was large enough and then like double-sided tape this thing down to the wood and then I would be able to navigate the end mill around while also milling the wood a little bit. And it wouldn't distort the shape of this because the double-sided tape would be holding on to it. I think that's probably the way that things should go. Now, holding this down to the mill is not really something I know if I can manage. But then I would have the control to be able to come in here and side cut. Actually, to be honest, I don't know if this is going to fit at all. Where are my magnets? Magnets, there. Maybe I need to 3D print something that'll hold on to the magnet. Because, like, yeah, that's not going to work. Well, it only has to be a tiny little cut, but it really does have to be right in the side because it's right at the edge. You know what? I may have to redesign this. I may have to think about this in a different direction. We may have to think about this a little differently, chat. I don't know if I'm getting cold feet at cutting this plastic. Because, yeah, that's going to want to walk all over the place. I mean, maybe if I put it in... Let's go over to the milling machine and see if we can come up with anything. It's not dead yet, but it might get there. We might just kill it. Come on over here, everybody. 3D print the whole new case. That's where we're headed. I think that's where I'm headed. I have enough black filament to reprint the case. I could 3D scan or just measure the dimensions of the original plastic cover, and then I can, in CAD, very easily just put little shroopty hoops in both halves, and then it would just snap together, and I would be happy, and we would all be millionaires. Overnight millionaires, a lot of us. All right, let's see here. This is an open upwards facing circuit in a shop. An open upwards facing surface in a shop is unfortunately storage space for all kinds of weird shit. And that's just what happens. So this mill being slightly out of commission has been not so good for the organization of the shop. The mill's x-axis is not properly displaying its coordinates, and so that renders it useless to an amateur machinist like myself. Saw your name fly by in Moon's chat. Made me do a double take. I get around. Like I said, if I spill something on my keyboard and it's... God, this thing is a lot heavier than I had anticipated. Oh, let's put this thing over here. Oh, okay. That's Dracosaurus, not Dickosaurus. Yeah, I get all around at night, and I was in Moon's chat, goofing off, making jokes. That chat goes by so quickly that it's very easy to miss comments, but some people thought I was being pretty funny. This is what we're doing right now is completely cursed. I'm going to somehow maneuver some of this stuff in order to cut plastic and make just a little indentation so that I can put a magnet on my keyboard, because after spilling stuff on my keyboard, and again, I said I'd be lurking in some famous streamer's chat and spill something on my keyboard, and then it would type a bunch of nonsense, and then I'd get like arrested or something. You know, they'd get mad at me and say, who the hell is that bother guy? I'm gonna get Joe Twitch to invade him and kill him. I didn't know you held so much economic power over me. Guess better you than someone else. Economic power? What are you talking about? What did I do? I didn't say to go buy anything. What do you, huh? Anyway, yeah, this is my stream. We do stuff in the shop. We've been doing stuff with interactivity lately with Node-RED. Why is that window open like that? I've got a lot of really cool Node-RED flows. Oh, we'd all be millionaires. I see. Yeah, no, that's up to me. We actually just made a thing where if you say the name of my dog in chat, it will shock my dog with a collar. No, it'll pull up a random picture of her. And if anybody says that name, it'll come up like that on any of my scenes. But you know, we do project stuff here. I do a lot of like soldering and weird stuff. If you've never been around, specifically talking to Drock, we at the beginning of chat, I had much larger than myself streamer pop in and say hi. And I did the whole fangirl thing already. So if you want to see what the type of stuff we do here, you can rewind to where I'm fangirling for another streamer. It's so stupid, right? They don't like that stuff. But anyway, yeah, what we're doing right now is we're trying to put magnets on the bevel of my keyboard because I keep spilling stuff on it. And when I spill stuff on it, I break it apart so that I can clean it out and dry it. And so that has led us to the milling machine where I have selected an end mill that is the right size. Although, do I have any that are already in the end mill holder? No, nope. All right, so we're going to use, what are we going to use? Maybe this. Yeah, we'll use the R34 collet. Not Rule 34, it's the R rating. Which one is this one? Oh, R32. I don't know what Rule 32 is. It's probably like any cartoon character has a... Is that the gender swap one? No, I don't think it is. I don't know. I don't know my internet rules. Anyway, this is an edge finder that's... What? That's... Oh, that was stuck together. This is an edge finder. It just kind of goes cattywampus when you hit an edge hard enough. Pretty cool. All right, put this down here. Oh yeah, the Skyline. That's what it is. Not internet porn. We're talking about a race car. So I don't know what I'm doing here. I know how to mill stuff. I know how to do machining. I've shown it off on camera before. We've done milling, but this is milling something that's so fragile. I think what I'm going to have to do is just hand feed it into the end mill and just see what happens and hope we get a good cut. Because I don't really have any work holding that won't damage this. Here, let's try to get more light in here. I need to get my mill lights back up and running again. We just have this little illuminator, and that's a little much for the shiny plastic. This is for a microscope, and I had to make a whole collar to fit this thing on. But, okay, and then that fell over. Is this thing still even plugged in? I think it is. All right, so I need to get this new end mill in. So what I do is I release the drawbar up here. I have a tool for that with a hammer. And so the square end nut fits into this thing that I bought. Really, you should machine your own. And then I've got this little collar wrench. Both of these work on the thing, but that gets onto this part of the drawbar. This releases it. It's basically just a big long bolt that goes through this whole thing all the way down to a tapered collar that's up in there. And so if I bop it on the head, bonk, it will release this. But the tapered collar is still in there because this is a quick change system. It's a pretty good one. I think prices have gone up on it though. But I bought all this stuff a long time ago. We need to do a bunch of streams where I clean up this whole setup and I take apart the milling machine. There we go. Now these just go back on the shelf. And this thing is ready for some light machining. I don't know what it is about all of the YouTube channels that show off machining. It's nice to see, but at the same time, the way that they're doing it is they're sending things out to their doom. Like they're machining as hard and as fast as they can possibly manage. And it's not good. You don't have to, if you're building a one-off prototype, you do not have to mill it in a quarter of a second. Like you can take your time and let the bits not blow up. Would it be possible to use magnets on the lower case and pieces of metal on the top? Yeah, possibly. I think some just speed it up, but then you see them go in for these cuts and their end mills like blow up. I didn't know you can machine light. We're gonna try. Cue nuclear explosion. Yeah, no, but they go at like a breakneck pace. They have their like CNC and stuff dialed up to absolute maximums, and you see them like, oh no, I blew up another end mill, ha ha ha. It's like, why are you doing that? You just slow down a little bit, man. Take your time. So I think what I'm gonna do is just manually feed it with my fingies, and just try to pull it in that way. I don't have much control that way, and it's going to try to skip around, but at least this thing stays parallel. So if I keep pressing down on it, it'll keep it sort of in the right position. I need to get a little closer in here. The switches are back here, so all right. And you guys have a terrible angle of the whole thing. Although what this is doing is it's just going to basically showcase how embarrassing this idea is, right? This is just showcasing how embarrassing my current idea of how I'm going to accomplish this machining feat. Oh, and by the way, for the Moon user, one of the cool projects that we have around here is sitting in the background there. That's going to be a direct drive force feedback simulator setup for a luxury car. So not a race car, a luxury car. Heck Torque USAR. Wait, what is it? Heck Torquesaur. Heckin' Torquesaurus. How you doing? Thank you for the Prime. I really appreciate those. Those are very nice. I don't have a lot of light over here, if you guys didn't notice, so things look a little weird. But yeah, this is a BMW seat, a Mercedes steering wheel, and they're both electrically adjustable. I'm going to give chat the ability to try to fold my clothes using these while I'm still wearing them and trying to play a game. So I will be trying to drive a car in a game, and suddenly the wheel's too far away. All right, let's 3, 2, 1 go on this and see how dumb of an idea this is. It's actually working pretty well. I'm gonna raise this up a little bit. We only need so much for the magnet, and I need a little below it to support it. Because I can't see shit. Yeah, the R32 collet is casting a shadow, so I can't actually see what the hell's going on. I'm gonna get my flashlight in my mouth here. Well, I went too far, but that's looking pretty neat. Hold on, let's take a look over here. Let's see what we did. The problem with black plastic is that the camera is trying to professional grade safety sequence. Why am I not wearing eye protection for plastic? Why would I do that? I'm wearing glasses. Those don't count at all. Glasses, like. Oops, wrong one. Like none of that's protected. None of that's protected. Glasses are not that good as safety. Glasses are not safety goggles. But I'm not wearing safety goggles because I'm doing something stupid. You should never wear safety equipment while doing something stupid. Keep in mind, the thing that you're trying to machine will never fix itself. Whereas your body, over billions of years of evolution, has been able to come up with mechanisms that allow you to heal. You are the only thing in the shop that is capable of doing that. But the thing that you're making is never going to heal. It's never going to heal, and it won't even heal wrong. You will heal. So throw yourself between whatever's breaking the thing you're machining, because it's worth more than you. You can quote me on that. Please don't quote me on that. Please never ever quote me on that. That is the wrong thing. So I've managed to make a little cutout. It's probably not deep enough because I didn't measure anything. We haven't measured a thing, but I might use some of that hot glue maybe on it. But I mean, that is the right size for a cutout. Is it close? Is it far enough away? Because I did bust out a little bit. You can see it wasn't exactly cutting, it was pushing. It was heating up and pushing plastic instead of cutting it away. So I don't know how the other half is gonna, my hands are cramping up because of diabetes. Stupid diabetes. All right, where's my bevel? I guess we could just fit the whole ensemble and see what we're getting at, if this is actually a thing that works. Interesting ideology. Sounds like something the guys that made Jackass would say. Oh, it's like what a bad boss would say. Not like a boss baby, but like a bad boss. Like a foreman. That's a foreman kind of thing. Oh, that's disgusting. Hit refresh, quick. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Now it's instantly going to try to stick to the metal. So that, thanks, great. I really, thank you. Yeah, no, can you just sit flat for me? No, you can't? Okay. It will not cooperate. Cooperate! So if I were to do this, this would be the only way that I would really be able to accomplish it, is by machining a bunch of these things that are lined up that cut basically all the way out of the thing. I mean, this fits right now. It is right up against, it is right up against the, the keyboard thing. I don't know. You know what? We should probably just design something in plastic. We should just design something 3D printable, and that way I can get these up to the edge, but they can be more captured in the plastic. You know, I can get it closer to the edge, and I don't have to like machine. Oh, God, this is very annoying. Yeah, we're gonna have to do a hashtag AutoCAD ad stream so that I can retain my copy for free, and we'll maybe design a keyboard case that'll come a little bit closer and have like something that holds on to these magnets so that the two halves kind of snap together, and you know, my keyboard will be largely the same, but yeah, I think that's what we're gonna do. It's you know, I've only been on for 2 hours. This is a short stream. We didn't have a lot of stuff to work on. I have other projects that are gonna take a lot of time and be really, really boring. Yeah. And so I need to work on those in the background, and I didn't do a very good job of it. I just did a bunch of other improvements to stream as a procrastination method, so that if I mute, at least I can see something up on screen that's muted, and you guys can see that. Nice and automated, right? I also cleaned up a couple things with the overlays, and we made the Willow engine. I figured that out, how to get a quick little picture of Willow up, if you guys say Willow in chat. If you design a TKL case to 3D print that takes the main plate and electronics as a drop-in, I might be tempted to try it. I am willing to share every single one of my STLs I've ever created. I don't have a place to list them. I should make like a website and update it, but that requires work, and you know, doing work is anathema. But if you guys want that stuff, just request it in the Discord, and I will gladly dig it up and give it to you. Because did that work? Did that work? I didn't see it, the mock at Tanagra. That better have worked. It worked. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've got a small collection of them, but it always shows a different picture right at the end. It's like burp. You're like, what was that? What happened? I think after I restart OBS, it'll fix that. But yeah, so we've got some automation stuff like that going. At some point soon, we are going to work on the money gun. This thing is funny. It's really makes a great visual of dollar bills hitting me from the side of the face. Don't ask how I got all these dollar bills. I need to put a plug on the end. I need to either cut or just work around the handle to make it a magnet mount, so that I can mount it over there and have it aimed specifically at a position. Because when I do the stream, I sit in a, you know, I'm blocked in a specific spot where the cameras are focused and the lights are good and all that stuff. So, you know, streaming is a very vain kind of thing. But I can aim that off camera at myself sitting here, and if a big donation rolls in, it'll just money in my face, which will be funny and annoying, which is generally how I choose the things that I work on here. That's kind of an easy one. It's not that difficult for us to do. I mean, we just take an ESP 8266, I do a little programming, get that to shoot for a certain amount of time, depending on the monetary gains. It'll start very low, and then I'll eventually probably turn it up to be like $30, just because it's a game of 52 pickup when it does activate. I could probably put playing cards in this too and have it shoot playing cards at me. Probably get a cut. But these are genuine dollar bills, so it would be funny to have as a donation incentive to have money spit at me. I could put it below chat, but I think spitting from that location is less funny. I think it needs to come from just off camera to the side. So on the face cam scene, if we get a monetary donation, we'll have this thing spit a bunch of monies. But then what about other scenes? If I'm doing something else and somebody donates a bunch of money, maybe it should spit out anyway, just because no matter what I'm doing, it'll just switch to the face cam and just show the money spitting out. That would probably be pretty funny. I may have to make it flip scenes on the donation of a particular amount and then do the spitting of stuff. So if I'm sitting here soldering, you know that I'm here and I'm in the right position. But if I'm working on something somewhere else, it might just clip to the money gun just yeeting money out into nowhere, which is fine, because I'll generally be relatively within view of this camera. All right, well, it's gotten to the point where I'm out of stuff to do because everything is little jobs and I didn't organize them properly, and I don't have a big job that we can look at. And the thing that's most vexing to me right now is the LIN bus capture of the signal that'll turn on the backlights here. And I don't know what happened to the person that came in here and said, keep trying. And then they just turned off their computer and kicked it and then like walked off into the ocean because they're gone. And I didn't get a response from the PMs. I don't know. Somebody out there knows how to turn on the backlight for this thing. We know how to get button presses. We don't know how to tell it to turn on the backlight. And I've gotten emails with advice on how to do it. I've gotten teasing photos of people doing it, but I have not been able to get it to do anything. We sent it a 4-byte packet with all Fs. That should be enough to trigger it, unless we need to have a counter somewhere in there. I have the same problem with the same guy. He's always hanging around doing things and not knowing what he's doing. That's me. That's me. No, usually I improv at the beginning of stream. It's like the day I wake up, I go, oh, today's a stream day. What are we going to work on today? And I go through the projects that I've been working on recently and say, oh, we should do something about this. And so I was sitting there at my desk like, this thing sucks. I hate it. And then I was like, maybe we could put magnets in there. But it turns out in order to put magnets in there, it's going to be much easier if I just 3D print the case. And that way I'll already have the little cutouts that I need. This is a little bit more wonky and I would have to do some relatively precise cutting on both sides of this thing. Whereas if I design it in CAD, I think I can just make it like basically the same thing, but then we can also put a proper bevel around the screen so that I can put 2 pieces of plastic here, one of them being clear and the other one being opaque. And I'll probably put tint tape on the other side in order to darken it up. What about the guy who appears when you're in an extreme low blood sugar? That's the guy I worry about. The guy I worry about is the guy I turn into during an extreme low blood sugar. I have had times at my old job, the reverse engineering IED jobs, which was just a bunch of guys in an office, right? Guys and technicians aren't people, so no. It was a bunch of people in an office who would reverse engineer all these electronics. You just go over it with a multimeter and a microscope and all that stuff, and log down exactly sort of what you find and the differences in that versus the other ones. And so it was an office job where everybody's in office clothing and all that stuff. And so you would get times when people would gather around somebody's desk and have conversations. And so that happened to me. Everybody was gathered around my desk. And unbeknownst to me, my blood glucose was somewhere in the 40s. The reasonable range for blood sugars, at least as far as I have been told, is 80 to 180. Although I think they've tightened that up a little bit for some people, but 80 milligrams per deciliter to 180 milligrams per deciliter of sugar in your blood. That's sugar that you can process that keeps your brain moving and all that stuff. Keeps your muscles moving too. When you are above, you feel lethargic, thirsty, just everybody's symptoms are different, but generally the agreed upon ones are hyperglycemic, feels like you've eaten a big meal and you've got the itis kind of. Low blood sugars can manifest in all kinds of different symptoms. You break out into a cold sweat, your muscles start shaking like you've been exercising a lot, general mental confusion because there's not enough sugar to run your brain. Your brain's like a big complicated machine. It needs that sugar to be in your blood. So you start getting to the 40s and 30s, the lizard brain starts to activate, the ancient part of your original brain that was evolved around. The lizard part of your brain wants to sit on a rock, absorb sun, and eat carbohydrates in order to power it. And so you go into what's fairly understood as a starving response, where if you eat food, it tastes amazing, and you're seeking out food and nothing but, and you just wanna rectify the situation. So I was sneaking down low while my coworkers were talking about something. I chimed in and said something. I have no memory of it. I have no memory of what I said. I must have been in the 20s or the 30s in terms of blood glucose level. I've heard of people be 14 before and still conscious, but I was on dire straits. And so when the complicated parts of my brain tried to actually communicate something to my coworkers, it said some kind of a joke that I don't remember at all. And everybody kind of nervously laughed at it. And I'm like, what just happened? Like, what you said didn't make any sense. I'm like, what? Did a glucose level and I was like, holy shit. And so Went and got orange juice and fixed it. But apparently when I get low enough, I'll say nonsense, which is, that's trouble. That's trouble. Especially streaming. I could get into trouble. Not that I think horrible thoughts. I think maybe that's the part that'll save me in the end, is that my brain is not going to pull something ridiculous out of something that I'm not. You know, it'll take something that I am and jarble it up. And I'll say, resistor RB doing that, right? Haha. And everybody's like, what you said doesn't make any sense. So I don't know, man. But it's scary to like, hey, you said something weird. And it's like, wait, what, huh? I said something weird. I was just sitting here a minute ago. Been so low that the meter can't read it. Jeez. That's dangerous because you can pass out pretty easily. When you're speaking, it makes sense to you, but not anybody else. I'm not sure because I don't remember it, right? I don't remember it making sense as I said it, but it must have if I said it, or it could just be no filter. But like, yeah, that's fascinating because, you know, the brain can't evaluate itself. It thinks it's totally fine, even if it's psychotic. So it thought that it was putting out something. Fascinating to learn what it thought it was putting out into the world to contribute to whatever conversation was going on, because all the wires were crossed and it was gibberish. Crazy to think about. Well, it's like remembering a dream where it just kind of vanishes. Yeah. Your brain just kind of lets go of it and you never get it back. And it's kind of unlike being like blackout drunk or near blackout drunk. Blackout drunk, you can forget stuff, but near blackout drunk, you can be told the stuff that you did and you said, yeah, I vaguely remember doing that. Like the time in college when I grabbed the last English muffin in the fridge, took a bite out of it and threw it on the floor in front of my hungry friend. I don't know why I did it. I think I thought I was being funny. But anyway, he probably should have gone out and gotten his own food anyway. What am I doing? I'm doing the end card. I need to do the end command. I forgot to do it earlier. I'm going to be back on Thursday. I put a day in there in between my streams. I do Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. The reason I don't stream on Wednesday, sometimes I need to order stuff in order to make things happen around here. We're pretty well stocked up these days, but back in the day, it would be like I'd get into something and I'd start working with it, and then it would be like, oh, I need capacitors. And so I'd have to hop on Amazon because I practically live on top of an Amazon warehouse. Sorry, cruelty center. I can get things fairly quickly. Then again, it's like Amazon's kind of already peaked, haven't they? They were advertising like 1 hour delivery, and it's like, I don't need 1 hour delivery. There's no scenario where that would work out for me. That would be the 7th. So May 7th is when we come back. And I'm going to try to figure out something that'll take up a whole stream because, yeah, it's been a couple streams where we've done these little kind of side tasks. And while those have spanned out to cover 5 hours, I got to find something that's a little bit more 5 hour-y to do, right? It was a good time today, though. We did a little bit of stuff, mainly nothing to do with the keyboard. The keyboard was doomed. I'm probably going to need to design an STL for this, but for Node-RED and all of my little interactivity things, we actually did make pretty decent progress. I got a mute light that corresponds to what is on because now I'll get a visual representation of what the phone actually is, and so hopefully that'll lead me to a lot less, fewer times. I shouldn't say that on camera. Anyway, just having fun with my buttons. And I think I fixed a lot of other stuff in Node. We also made some raid interaction where we get this is what happens when somebody raids. This comes up and it says, blah, blah, blah is raided with a party of 25 billion people. Does that need to be longer? There's like a nice pregnant pause when it fully opens. 6? Oh, I didn't deploy. Hold on. Boot. So much stuff happens when I deploy. Oh yeah, 6 seconds is definitely. Oh my God, what is that video? Imagine time turns back, the year is 2019 or 2018, and you go to the Philadelphia Auto Show, and this is what you see. Which direction did this move in? Yeah, so it was actually in reverse. My friend pushed on the door to close it, and then we got this perfect video of it, and in reverse, it looks like this, and it's great. And then just enough time. Let's try 6 seconds and see if it loops. Yeah, so 5 seconds is... I didn't see it come up. Did it really miss that? I was just deploying it. Maybe that ran into it. You would have gotten Willow stuck on camera. Idea still works. The light turned on. I got to get that more prominently in the foreground. There we go. Opens, and then it doesn't loop. Good. Yep, that's it. Idea. I didn't see Willow come up. It did? Okay, okay. Sorry, it's so quick. It's a 2-second thing because it's, you know, it's not based on bits or anything like that. If I made it based on like channel points, I'd have it come up for like 4 seconds. But 2 seconds, I think, is just enough to take a look. Oh, it's a cute picture. Gone. And I think it'll sync up when I close and reopen OBS, because that way it's starting the slideshow at the very beginning, whereas I have it pausing when it's off camera. And when it pauses off camera, I closed the scene when it was in the middle of one. So I think it'll sync up better in the future. We could try to fix it. I could actually try to fix it by activating it. Studio mode, and then frameless overlay, and then Willow. There. That might sync it up a little better. Let me check. Almost. There's still a click over. Yeah, that little end tease is very annoying. I don't know what I can do about that. Let me take a look at the settings for it real quick, just in OBS. Because what we're doing is we're coordinating the amount of time that Node-RED turns it on and off with OBS turning it on for only a certain amount of time. I would rather it choose a random image every time it comes up and just stick with that. Let's take a look at the settings again. Pause when not visible, unpause when visible. I could stop and restart. Stop and restart would probably be the one to do. And then we'll put it up for like 4 seconds. Let's try that. That may still give us random Willow pictures. All right, so let me go over here. Willow. So Willow with her face buried. Yeah, okay, there. That core. Now we don't have a little tease of the next image coming up on it. That'll just show it for 2 seconds. What the hell? Oh my God. Welcome. Oh, you guys just tested out my Node-RED flow. What's up, Uo's Lab? 443 souls. Oh my God, that is a huge friggin' raid for this channel. We were actually like quieting down for the evening. For the evening, it's like bright out. Yeah, hi everybody. What's up, Uo's Labsers, weirdos? We were trying to stuff magnets into my keyboard to try to keep it together because I spill things. I spill things on my keyboard, and I've had this code 10 keyless keyboard since 2018 is when I bought this keyboard. Welcome to my shop. This is where all my stuff goes down. Uo has like a fairly burnt up wooden desk. I have a wooden desk, but it's not all burnt up. It's in slightly better shape. This is basically my entire shop where we get all this cool project stuff done. I've got 3 huge monitors that are sitting above my tiny little keyboard where I'm basically broadcasting to you guys. I got a whole rack of equipment over there. Got the milling machine. We used that a little bit today. Yeah, when you guys say Willow, she pops up on screen now. This is a simulator setup that we've been working on. I've got a whole CAN bus idea for it. Yeah, there's my gaming computer all the way over there. My brother bought a cheap BMW, and there's nothing more expensive than a cheap BMW. He was fixing up his cheap BMW, and I had already built a direct drive force feedback steering wheel with a Mercedes steering wheel. And so he calls me and he goes, "Hey, I found a luxury interior at the junkyard." And I go, "Oh, what are you doing with the old seats?" And so he drops off an entire car seat, an entire electrically adjustable CAN bus speaking car seat with an airbag in it that I took out. The airbag's sitting right by my Crystal Pepsi. This is my Crystal Pepsi from 1992. And there's an airbag. And if that thing goes off, it's going to break my Crystal Pepsi. Anyway, so I got the airbags out of it, like with the wheel. This thing has like CAN bus commands that you can send to it in order to adjust it around. And I'm going to have to use those if I want to adjust all of the different features of the seat. I bought an electrically adjustable Mercedes-Benz steering column and a bunch of really expensive frame rail. And so far, we've been putting all this stuff together with real car pedals, by the way, real BMW car pedals. What I want to do is I want to make a direct drive luxury car simulator that adjusts based on chat commands. So I can give you guys the ability to spend bits, and you can try to fold my clothes while I'm still wearing them, using the seat folding and the steering wheel adjustment. I think that would be very funny indeed. Yeah, this is my workshop. It's where literally everything I own exists. But that's sort of what we're working on here on the side. I also have Burn the Subs, which is an XY laser etching table that is going to burn the names of subscribers onto itself. It's not done yet. We have a lot of work to do on it. We're going to get back to working on it now that that thing's out of the way. I think the wheel might have heating and the seat might have heating. We have to access the LIN bus command that would turn on steering wheel heating. I don't know how we would even check that. Actually, you know what? I don't think it does, because I don't know if there's wires for that on the wheel. I don't think I saw that. We've taken it apart a couple times and taken a look at like all the stuff in it. I don't think there's wheel heat would be really good, because that like is faster than seat heat. Seat heat, I think we have, and that we can access through the CAN bus. And that way you guys can make it feel like I pissed myself while I'm driving my simulator setup. It's evil stuff. Yeah, CAN bus on the seat, LIN bus on the wheel. What I'm hoping to do, you guys gotta stick with me on this. I want to put everything on that steering setup, everything on the sim setup, onto the CAN bus. That includes a shifter, parking brake, flight accessories like the throttle that I've got, all the stuff sitting in this bin, all onto CAN bus, and then a Raspberry Pi, that's a 3B plus, with a CAN bus hat, will look at all those signals flying around and then make its own CAN bus signals that will trigger HID devices. So I've got a USB hub, and I've got a bunch of RP2040s plugged into the hub. And so those will be the thing that operates the game. Those and the open force feedback controller program will all operate the computer stuff, so the simulator stuff. And then in turn, I can have Node-RED on the Raspberry Pi as sort of like a junction box where I can send certain signals to certain things. So I can use all these car controls and stuff. I can control stuff in the real world with it if I want to, with the MQTT server and all of the interactive stuff that we do here. Wish I could listen to this, but I have to go to a meeting back later. I'll go to your meeting. Yeah, listen, we've already hemorrhaged about 400 people from the raid. It's cool. What is this guy talking about? He's too cerebral for me. I've got to close my browser. Oh my God. So it's fine. It's fine. We were kind of wrapping up. I discovered that putting the big plastic tray for my keyboard in the milling machine probably wasn't the best idea. We machined out just a little shroopty-hoop right here for a magnet to go in, and then I was going to magnet the two halves of my keyboard together so it wouldn't fly apart while I'm using my computer. You can see it's filthy. Everything is disgusting. But yeah, I was hoping that I could glue some magnets onto this thing so that I could drop this down, and then these two would just shoof, click together and hold together. Because when you spill something on the keyboard, it gets on the back of the circuit board, and the back of the circuit board is where I've done all of my modifications. What I've done to this is I've ripped out the original processor here, and I've soldered wires to all of the pads. The reason for doing that is because this is down low on the keyboard, and the circuit board, when you spill stuff on the circuit board, it makes its way over to the other side of the PCB, and then it gets all this stuff wet and ruins the clock that feeds this microprocessor, and so it stops talking to you. And I need it to talk to me. So I put a Pi Pico on it, and I have the Pi Pico controlling a couple of muxes that I just had on hand, and those are powering my keyboard. This has been working for over a year just fine. Oh yeah, I don't have all of Uo's Chatterino stuff. Corn W? What is that? All right, anyway, we were wrapping up. I did not expect to get an Uo raid. Today it was just a seat of the pants kind of thing. Usually I come up with something to do on stream, not too long in front of stream actually going live. We have a couple things that we can work on, but they're a little bit more cerebral, and I would like to actually try to get Node-RED onto the Raspberry Pi ahead of us actually implementing that. What is this face you keep using? Oh, it's Kisa, yeah. Oh, that's what it was supposed to be? What the hell is that? Is it calling me corny? What is that thing? Corn W. I don't understand you people. I missed that. Did it come up? We've implemented this 2-second Willow picture thing. Is Uo smiling? That's such a weird question. Yeah, it's still working all right. And the idea light, of course, comes on whenever somebody says idea in chat. We do need to hook some of this stuff up to YouTube. I got to figure out how to do that. I think I might be able to do it with Social Stream Ninja's like server thing. If I can access that server in Node and I can spin off flows from that. But I don't really know how that works, so I got to do some reading on that. That's boring. Oh, Uo Corn W is Uo smiling. Is it? Is it? It's kind of a weird looking thing. You don't get a lot of pixels in emotes, so some of them are a little bit cursed. Wait, that window doesn't persist outside of Twitch? That's weird. I'm trying to get like a closer view, but it doesn't, it's looking a little crazy. What, do you have shit on his face? He's like wearing a mask or something, it looks like. Yeah, so I use Social Stream Ninja in order to put both YouTube and Twitch chats together. Just a quick picture of Willow. Oh, it's a corn thing from Temu. Oh, it's the result of one of those Temu ordering sessions. I wish I could do those. The thing that I really wish I could do right now, and I might have the money for it. I don't know if I have the inclination. I could probably fix it, but I kind of want to get an MC505. It's not the best groove box in the world, but it is something that I could make little music trills with, and we could hook that up to the modular synthesizer. There's one that's broken on eBay. It's not fully broken, but the factory reset doesn't work, which that's scary. Some of the buttons and stuff are broken. I could easily fix that. And I've seen a couple repair videos of them. So I'm like sitting here like, is $225 too much for me to spend for something on stream? And yeah, it kind of is. I don't think I'm going to go ahead with it, but I was considering it. I was close to buying that thing just so I could inject a little bit of music stuff back in to stream. Anyway, the 178 of you, thank you for sticking around for me prattling on as I'm doing, because it was the end of stream and I was about to go unlive early. Unlive early, there we go. But yeah, we're here and I'm sticking around for just a minute or two just to kind of take advantage of the sudden influx of viewers in order to show off the types of things that we do here. We typically take a little bit more time on the project. I try to do things and not have it be completely cursed. I think coming soon is going to be the money gun. I think we're going to work on the money gun because the money gun is very funny. If I get a donation over a certain amount, it'll spit money literally in my face. It's a good incentive for people to donate. I'm a little scared of how, like, if I incentivize money here. Unless you want it, then it's okay. Money plane. No, but this is, would be very funny, but it would also encourage large donations, which scares me because if I make a certain amount of money a year, I get kicked off of my health insurance. So I'm playing games with big danger here. All right. Anyway, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't want stream to drag on. If I don't have anything to talk about, then I don't have anything to talk about. And we stop streaming. So let's raid Rabaz. We're going to throw all these people at Rabaz. He's playing Abiotic Factor. I would suggest you guys get that game. It's like last year's game of the year easily for old people like me who like Half-Life. Wonderful game. You can tax deduct it, so it's basically free. That drives me crazy. As somebody who does the 1099 MISC form for streaming income and doesn't make any money off of it, I make like a few $100 off. I don't make a lot of money off streaming. I wish I did. But like write it off. It'll be free. Or like, no, it doesn't work like that. It still costs money. It still costs money, man. You get a little bit, but it's bad. Anyway, let's raid Rabaz. Let's stop talking about taxes. I fucking hate taxes. Raid. Oh, wait. First of all, end card. If you guys feel like joining the Discord, if you want me to share an STL of a project, it's on there. It's on that Discord. We have all kinds of sections for all kinds of chatty people to talk to each other. Woo, cool. There's also a whole section for Willow pictures. So you can see things like this at your leisure. All right, let's go over to Rabaz's channel. Yeah, I'll catch you guys later, and I'll have more to do next time. I'm going to be back on Thursday in approximately, where is it? 1 day, 21 hours, 21 minutes, maybe 16 seconds if we're feeling charitable. One last idea. The light. That light comes on every time somebody says idea in chat. I should make a big raid button too. Enjoy your tacos. I said nothing about tacos. I didn't say a goddamn thing about tacos. And I think you need to be a little bit more careful about what information that you're disseminating, because that might be damaging to the... Okay, that rated late. I probably was quiet at the end of that. That's fine. If you're still here, what plugins are you using? All right, I'm going to stop all the streams. Have a good